I'm saying from the male's perspective in a general sense. We're logical as we, for the most part, agree, right? Certain time, we're in our minds, if we have created an environment where you can thrive and we can thrive, and you're telling me that you're good with this because you're still here, and then you now have to go get busy to do something with the action of taking the effort and the whatever, in our head, it doesn't make sense. I created the
Maybe a
environment.
conversation need to be
You
had
back to
between
the
that
in
man
your
and woman.
head though.
But
You
true.
Were we
right.
talking about what was in your head, or were we talking about what's in her head?
Well,
Right. They not.
great question.
No,
Great
no,
question.
that was the
Go.
question though. Because it was, what can he do to make her feel like she's autonomous?
Okay, Toya, question for you. What do you think that a man can do to make a woman feel like she has her own sovereignty?
Support her aspirations. Long story short. She wants a job, right? That's what the clip said. She wanted a job. Let her have a job. What's the big deal? Let it be something that she wants to do. If that'll
So,
make her happy, why not?
so this is where,
What's the harm in that?
so there is no actual harm. However, when a man is in the position where he can provide 100% for his woman, we don't want our women having a boss, having another person, another man lording over them. So, she goes to work now, she gives him her
Granted.
best.
Granted, but he
So
said,
because of
how
that,
can
that's
he
that's
have her
that would be the
feel like
harm.
she has some kind of autonomy? It's not about what her man is feeling. It's about how she's feeling. Is that not?
No, it's still both,
What
but then he
we
would
were
have to
trying to
choose between the two. Whether is it okay? Would he have to? Is he willing to accept his woman answering to another man now and continuing that relationship dynamic with her?
What if
Or
it's another woman? What if her
that's
boss
even
is a
worse.
woman?
'Cause, I mean, we understand how that goes typically in the workplace, but
Wait.
so that would be even worse.
Can I just
What?
make a
I
statement?
see your point.
So
I get your point.
remember, right? We live in a society. We're supposed to love people the way they want to be loved, not love the way you want a person to be loved. So if she's saying like, listen, this is what's going to make me happy. I don't want to just be a mother and a wife. I want to be able to give back to society in some capacity. So I may want to work in sales because I love this, right? This makes me feel whole. You can't ignore that. Even though he is capable of providing 100% to her, I think we think that every woman just wants to be fully provided for. I will say this. I've been in two relationships, long relationships, in a marriage. One that I was the breadwinner, and the other one where my man provided majority of things, but I still contributed. And I think that, so I felt both. I think people want somebody who's supportive and providing, but it doesn't mean that I just want to sit home and accept it. We know that there are people who want that, right? They want to go shopping and do all that other stuff. We understand that, but that's not what she's saying.
I think. Go ahead, Lakeisha. Go ahead, Lakeisha.
Hold on, Lakeisha.
I think that your question was, you said, how does a man allow a woman to still have sovereignty? And I think that by understanding that love isn't ownership, it's partnership. Sovereignty means she still has her voice. She still has her identity, that y'all don't like the word, her friendships, her purpose, her personal growth, even while being in a relationship. And I think that, I'm not saying nobody on this panel, anybody in the comment, a healthy man, I don't think, shrinks a woman's world to keep her close. I feel like he feels secure enough to let her expand, knowing connection comes from choice, not control, meaning, still be able to exist without controlling her. So I just think love isn't ownership, because the way sometimes it comes off as if it's like the man owning because he pays bills.
Can I ask the ladies a question? And whomever want to reply, feel free. Do you guys think that life consists of trade-offs, exchange, generally speaking?
I do.
That's all life is at the end of the day.
Okay. I don't know if it was caught in my commentary some moments back, but I had said that a lot of times I think when it comes to the relationship aspect from a male's perspective, we're looking at acquisition. So I like to use business terms because generally it takes emotions out of these things. Typically, when you get hired somewhere, sometimes in the spelling of that contract, you are being acquired. I need your talent, your skill set, your time, your energy, right? You sign it, we agree on terms, and you're good with it. Sometimes in that language, it also specifies, I don't preferably want you going outside of what I need you for to explore other things. And maybe because we don't sit down and it's not romantic to sit a woman down and be like, you fine, you gorgeous, I want to rock with you, sign on the dotted line. We do it from a place of emotional exchange or verbal exchange or whatever, right? Whatever we're presenting. And I think that's, again, where the disconnect is for most men. We're talking about the men who can absorb you, acquire you, everything that comes with you, good, bad, indifferent, financial resources, all of the above. And what he said in the video was he was offended because she feels it necessary. She feels it necessary to acquire a job when her life is maintained. Not for a year, not for 5 years, for a decade plus. So I understand where in his mind, well, what's the purpose of the job? And then all the ladies on here have pretty much communicated that there's more that you need. Like, you good with the deal because you ain't left. But now I need to go get something else to feed something that somehow, some way I'm not getting in this relationship. And maybe we can go from that point to see why that is a disconnect. Like,
But
what would it take? Go ahead.
Why does she have to be not getting something because she wants her own independence? Like, why does she like why you say it's not? I don't think nobody on this panel is saying that she's not getting something. I just think that, and I'm speaking women in general, we all had something before we came. We all were different people before we came. And so when we merged together, I think that sometimes in our own selfishness, you know what I mean? You expect one thing, Trey, I expect one thing. And like you said, we can't seem to get those things together because we thinking different things. But I think when we figure out how to walk together instead of two people walking separately, I think that's where we might.
And I agree with the walking together thing. We're just walking it out. We're just talking through it, right? So I appreciate your perspective. I think that, again, this is me speaking from the male's perspective. I'm not saying we're right. I'm saying from the male's perspective in a general sense. We're logical, as we, for the most part, agree, right? Certain times, we're in our minds, if we have created an environment where you can thrive and we can thrive, and you're telling me that you're good with this because you're still here, and then you now have to go get busy to do something with the action of taking the effort and the whatever, in our head, it doesn't make sense. I created the
environment. Conversation need to be
you
had
back to the in your head though.
But
were we talking about what was in your head, or were we talking about what's in her head?
Well,
right.
Great question.
No, that was the question though, because it was, what can he do to make her feel like she's autonomous and she has some kind of sovereignty? That's what it was, right? So essentially, it would have to be up to her. No.
I think, and that's the thank you. Great question. No, it's not solely up to her. And I think that's where the disconnect is.
And that's where the disconnect is. And that's why they're having problems in their relationship.
But it's a partnership. It's a partnership. So that's a conversation. I think what Lakeisha was saying is communication is key. These are conversations we need to have before we even get to this place. What this looks like, what our relationship, how it's going to look. Do you want to work after you have children? Is there a business venture? I would say, and I'm going to speak off of me, when I think a lot of women agree, like, I wouldn't want to go get a job just because, like, go work at Macy's or whatever, just so I can get a job and be out of the house and have my autonomy. No, I would, if my husband or my partner is providing everything for our household, I'm going to look, you know what, babe, how can we build onto this? What can I do? Are we starting a business? Do I want to own a clothing store or something? That's something that is a passion for me. I think that people just get lost in their roles, that they forget to do the things that fulfill them. And I think that's really honestly what she's talking about.
And
I
I
think
agree with and I agree with what I'll pass it to you in a moment.
Yeah.
I agree with what you're saying, Jay. Thanks for that, exploration, and that delivery. When I said my mind, Toya, again, generally speaking from the male's perspective, and this is, again, I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying the men are right. This is the disconnect. See, women don't acquire men. You guys don't. The relationship exchange is acquisition on our end. That's the problem. Until you're in a position of where you acquire, it's kind of like a mother to her children. And I know I'm just using it as an example, so don't get triggered, please. Your child is your child. You've produced it, you've maintained it with the man, however, but you have a certain oversight for that life. That's how men look at women. You're acquired. So because you're acquired, going back to the employee aspect and looking at it, it would be foul for you to get acquired and then go get something without passing it past your boss or having a conversation. So like you said, Jay, I think that's, again, the disconnect.
Maybe he should have had that conversation with her before he started providing all these things for her, because obviously it seems like to me that's maybe she's not the type of woman that wants to be sitting in the house just raising the kids. That's not the type of woman he acquired. So now he got to figure out what to do with her.
Wait, so one of the things though that True's saying that I'm gonna kick this to you actually. So is fulfillment, right? Now, if we want to use the employee acquisition thing, if you have an employee who comes to you, I don't know if anyone's a boss here, but I've had employees come to me, hey, I can take on more, right? This job ain't cutting it for me no more. So either I go get a new job or you promote me or do something because I'm stifled here. I've stopped growing. The real problem that too many women have is stagnation. And we as people were never meant to stagnate. Nothing around us is stagnant. Stagnant water is toxic. You're not meant to just stay, right? You have to grow, you have to change, you have to evolve, you have to move. So if your woman is saying, hey, I need something else for stimulation, because we all know it's use it or lose it, right? You got to keep moving your mind. The kids are now in school full time. You're only going to PTA meetings once every month or whatever, right? I need something else. If you are the sole provider and this person is coming to you, let's say you're the boss of this, whatever empire, then that's when you start looking for solutions. Now, I'll say a little bit of your business is a business owner, right? So he's in a position where he can, if his girl comes to him saying like, hey, I need to do something more. These kids is going at 8:30 and 8 o'clock in the morning. They on a bus. I have nothing to do till 2:30 or 3 o'clock when they come home. What can I do? He's in a position to say, oh, you know what? Can you fill this role at my company? I can have you do, but again, entrepreneurs are a minority, right? And so it's like, if you are a man who has a 9 to 5 and you're out 9 to 5 and you can't offer your woman a job because you're not an entrepreneur, then you're just going to leave her stagnant at home and she's going to be a dissatisfied employee and it's going to show.
He also has
Hold on.